good, YouTube? It's your boy, Meh, of pigandmeh here. And as you can see right in front of you, I bought 3 of the new Cyber Dragon structure deck that just recently got released. But rather than doing the same old of building a entire deck out of 3 structures, I decided to take those structures and kind of came to realize that you can have 2 different decks in question. You could either have pure Cyber Dragons or some new funky Cyberdark hybrids. And considering the glutton of product we've had available to us, I decided to kind of look into and evaluate and test out a couple things. And I came up with this build and have been testing it. And later this week you should see a replay compilation of it in motion throughout the various stages. There'll be a couple games with slightly different builds, but for the most part, this is what I came up with, and I'm just here to show you guys my Cyber Dragon deck profile for post Cyber Strike structure deck. Alright, started out the standard, as far as I'm concerned, is you're playing the 3 Cyber Dragon, the 3 cores, the 3 Hertz, the 1 Nasty Boy. And the reason you're playing 3 Cyber Dragons is, of course, because you're doing the 3 machine duplications. All of these cards right here are targets for machine dupes to get you 2 Cyber Dragons to then do some wild and crazy stuff. Also, they're all common, so that annoys all those rarity whores out there. Alright, and from the structure deck, some of the newer cards I opted to try out is very simple one-ofs of the Cyberdark Realm, the Chimera, and the Claw. The Claw to search this, to then play this, to search this, to then ditch a spell for your one-of Power Bond that he enables and turns into a Miracle Fusion. It's pretty good, but I'm not 100% sold on this in this particular build, because them being dark means they don't work with the next card I'm going to show. And there was only really one game where I really regretted citing this out, games 2 or 3, because if I would have had this, then I could have just made a bigger guy. And because of this particular engine, I also want to play another card, which I'll get to the extra deck, but that's what I did out of the newest structure decks. I think these cards are pretty cool, but they make me just want to play a straight Cyberdark deck, which I think I might at some point do on this channel, but for now I just wanted to play with pure Cyber Dragons. And to round out the kind of necessary cards, just 2 Galaxy Soldiers. He jumped up in price, so you might be able to find replacements in like a Solar Windjammer or another card you'll see later. Or you could play just more hand traps if you can't afford this, but if you can, or you stockpile these when they were cheaper, yeah, this guy is absolutely insane in this deck. There are some times where I tested 3, but for the most part, you only really need the 2. He's just there for an easy rank 5, and him and Hertz is nuts. For hand traps, of course, you have to play all these cards that came out in different structure decks. Thanks, Konami. I kind of want to play 3 of this. She hasn't been performing as well as normally, but I kind of can't not play her. And I was kind of doing the whole trying 2 ofs thing, and I just don't like that ratio. Just to let you know, there is no crossout designator in this, so there's at least that for your budget. Spells, of course, the triple Cyber Emergency, the 1 Rev System, the 1 Repair Plant, and the 1 Cyber Load Fusion. This card's pretty good, but it has certain limitations that are kind of annoying, but it's searchable. Same thing with this, so I don't really see a need to max out. And surprisingly, if they keep hitting your graveyard with stuff, or you can't get to a Cyber Dragon to put in your graveyard, it gets really, really annoying. This card's pretty good. I lucked out in pulling one from a pack. So, yeah, there's that. And this card is Busted. Alright. Next up, I play just the one of Instant Fusion because it came in Cyberdark Impact. And also, there's a cool factoid about a card in the extra deck that I use for this specifically. One Overload. I almost want to play two of this, and then two of a card I'll talk about later, because this card's pretty good. But you can only banish so many Cyber Dragons at some point. Harpy's Feather Duster plus 2 Lightning Storms. This conflicts with the new Cyberdark card, which is why I had such a problem with it. But it's a huge blowout, and like, yeah, it kind of feels necessary if you're just trying to OTK the shit out of your opponent. Just one called by, super necessary, and Ash Blossom hurts. One triple tactical talents. Kind of want more of these two, but I only own one, so I'll just deal with it. And the last card in the main deck, just one Cybernetic Overflow. It's a good card. Alright, on the extra deck. The one Salamangrate Almirage, the one Cyber Dragon Seeger, and then the only link to that matters, Verte Anaconda. Yep, unfortunately, this is necessary and way too good in this deck because you just send Overload and just OTK faster. I mean, Seeger's super nice, and he combos real nicely with a lot of cards in here, but for the most part, all I ever did was just these two when it came to links, and I kind of found that to be meh. A card I learned about from the Kali effect, and I actually used pretty decently and enjoyed, was this guy, Chronomaly Venama, or Vimana, or whatever. He's generic, rank 5, and he has the effect about, like, you can target a Chronomaly or an Exceed in your graveyard and boost his attack, but you'll never do that, because he's also a 2600 defense that is a detached to negate a monster effect. I play this because if they make you go first and you open the Galaxy Soldiers, this can get you a monster negate in under 5 summons. So this card is really good to consider, and it's also pretty cheap, so I recommend anybody who wants to seriously play this deck to actually look into investing in this. This was a really good card to highlight. And of course, your necessary, important guys. This got reprinted in the 10, so it's more available and cheaper. And sometimes you'll want to do this rather than having the one Infinity negate, but again, this card's really good. Punishes your opponent for putting monsters in attack mode, and just deals with a bunch of stuff. And of course, you need the Nova to get to it. So, yeah. Alright, now to the fusions. I play one Panzer Dragon for the instant fusion. But funnily enough, his requirements are the exact 2 Cyber Darks that you have in your deck, because it's a machine and a dragon monster, which you happen to play. Fun fact. This card's also kind of cool, because if they do kind of... Basically, you can play Instant Fusion, put this guy out, let him get destroyed, and then he'll destroy a card on the field. So, I thought he was a good card worth considering, especially if you're playing the Cyber Dark stuff, because it just so happens to work with them in more ways than one. You need to play 2 of this card. I was playing one like an idiot because of another card. Well, I'll just show you. Because I thought it would be cute to play this card. No, don't play this. Play 2 of this. This card is insane. It sends hurts to get a core back to your hand. Helps you OTK. If you use it with Power Bond, it's nuts because you have a monster with over 4,000 attack that can hit like multiple times. So yeah. I'm dropping this in a heartbeat, and I'm playing 2 of this because this card is probably so good that I'd almost just not want to run this card. But I run it because I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, to be honest with you. And also, you know, Zane played it in the show a bunch, so it's cool. So, yeah. And then lastly, the other absolutely mandatory is the Mega Fleet and the OG Bastard. If you played Machina Gadget format, you know this card. And this is why Birth Machine hates this deck because they just do this. Or this. And they laugh at you. And you cry yourself to sleep at night. But yeah, both of these cards are pretty self-explanatory. Good cards. And absolutely necessary. So that was the main deck. The extra deck. I guess I'll go over the side deck real quick. It's not very good, but it's what I've been working with, and it's going to change. I sided the Jizukuru. You could easily main deck this, and probably should, since you're going second, but I don't know. I just wanted to try out different things on my main board. This is a machine. Fun fact. And it ruins the mirror. Fun fact. So yeah. This card's pretty good too. Double Nibiru. I like it, and there was an interaction between this and a card that I was playing, the Light Charmer, the Link to, for a while. I ended up dropping her because Verte is just a significantly better card. But if you can't afford the Verte, you could ideally play her, because when she gets destroyed by battle or card effects, you can search this from your deck. So if you play this over the Ash Blossoms, you have both a discard for your Galaxy Soldier and fun thing to search off of her. Just something to consider. Double Lancia. Yeah, actually, this might stay in here for a while because it's a pretty good card, and you don't want them to banish your stuff. And Sword Soul is around the corner. Another card I could think about main decking, since I don't own Forbidden Droplets, but it's kind of up in the air. Also, these came in a structure deck. And so did this card. This also came in a structure deck. And this came in a structure deck. And this came in a structure deck. So, yeah, that would just be funny to build your deck out of structure deck cards. But all these are pretty explainable. Since you're an OTK deck, you can OTK with this card. This could be twins or this. It's kind of up in the air. I think I was just playing stuff that would kind of require that I would need to banish the card rather than destroy the card and discard a card. Dark Ruler, like I just explained. And you could, in theory, main this card yourself if you were playing a slower, more trap-heavy build, but I don't know. I just put it in the sideboard. And then the last card, I stole this from Asian Persuasion's channel. Little Kyle. Titanicider. It's kind of the only going first card I'm siding in the whole deck, because it's just a window out, long story short. And like Lost Wind, it can reset itself from the graveyard, but unlike Lost Wind, it doesn't banish itself. But it only specifically works with extra deck monsters, which is kind of something in and of itself. I don't know. I think it's a neat tech, though. So, there you have it, folks. The main extra and side deck of my Cyber Dragon deck. I went with Pure because, well, it's kind of pretty straightforward and something I really haven't gotten to play. And it's a real fun deck. But it has a lot of work to do, or a lot of work I need to do to it. And yeah, I will have a replays of this so you guys can kind of see it in motion and get an idea of what I'm talking about coming up here real soon. And if this does well enough, I'll even do the pure Cyber Dark one, if you guys would like to see that. So yeah, this is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing out.